another episode of Voice with Claire. Today is another marvelous day. It's another awesome day, and we haven't said our beautiful and elegant Miss CB Solange. Hi Solange.
Hi Clarice.
How you doing?
I'm good.
You look good.
Thank you, Bo. It's good to be back.
I know. It is always awesome to have you on set, Solange. Thank you so much for another opportunity.
Thank you.
Today we have one of those awesome topics to talk about: self-confidence. Wow, self-confidence. Solange, I want to ask you my usual questions. What do you understand by self-confidence?
Self-confidence is just how you look at yourself, you know? It's just how you see yourself as a person. So, well, it might be in a good way, it might be in a bad way. That's why we come with low self-esteem and people with high self-esteem.
Okay.
Yes. But then as a person, it's something that's very important. And I feel like it's a very good topic for us to talk about because there's a lot of women today, they really don't have those issues. Yes.
Wow. So how do you build self-confidence?
Well, it comes from building yourself. It comes from building yourself as a person and then who you see yourself as a person. Okay. So if you see yourself as a failure, that shows, you know, it's going to reflect. So if you want to build a good self-esteem, start by building yourself. Career-wise, you know, start by doing something that makes you feel like you're a success. That's really pretty much what it's all about.
So do you think we build self-confidence by what we wear or how we speak or how we carry ourselves around?
What we wear. I feel like sometimes, yeah, it's possible because then, especially for women like us, me for one, the way I look sometimes is all that I need. I don't have to even open my mouth to speak. You can see the self-confidence when I walk into
Oh my goodness.
So sometimes it's really, it has a lot to do. Then, unlike, you know, some of us women, you know how sometimes we expand, we shrink. You can get to a point where maybe with the excess weight, a lot of people start having like low self-esteem. Right. But then there are exceptions to this thing. There are some people that really don't care. But then a lot of women, it gets to that part where it kind of affects you. So yes, how you look, how you dress. Because for me, I can tell, I mean, I've gotten to a point where I was like a size 16 before. So then trying to fit into clothes that maybe are usually not my size, then you're going to you're like putting your dress while you're walking into the room, all of that really, really would bring your self-esteem down. Yeah. But then putting on something you're comfortable in, not necessarily that it's expensive or anything, but just something you're comfortable in and you feel confident in, it would definitely boost your self-esteem.
Oh,
without a doubt.
That makes a whole lot of sense, girl. Seriously, because if anybody tells me she doesn't feel comfortable with how she dresses or rather the mood of your dress, if it doesn't make you feel comfortable, then I don't know if you really understand. Because when you put on something you're not confident of, if you put on something you don't feel comfortable in, you go out there, you don't walk with your shoulders high. But when you put on something you feel, you know, you feel good. That's why we have mirrors in our homes. When you put on something, you look at yourself in the mirror and you see how good you look. It just gives you that confidence, you know. So that really makes a whole lot of sense. So what are some of the advantages of this self-confidence?
I feel like self-confidence is everything. You know, as a person, it goes across every part in life. Job-wise, how you carry your relationships with your friends, your relationship with your spouse, your partner, your kids. Self-confidence is everything. If you see a lot of people with good self-confidence, they tend to be very successful. You know, it's maybe the relationship, how you know how you talk with your kids. At the job place, you know how to talk to your boss, you know how to carry yourself. You're doing a presentation at work, you're confident about what you're actually talking about, you know. So, and that has a lot. Self-confidence and success go together. Yes, so it's something that is very important.
That's great. So, do you think some women don't have self-confidence?
Oh yeah, bet me a lot. You know, because there's sometimes self-confidence, people feel like self-confidence because, I mean, being in the society we are today, self-confidence and low self-esteem, it manifests in a lot of ways. Sometimes there are a lot of people with low self-esteem, but then the way they portray themselves to the society, you can actually think maybe, oh, their self-esteem is really like at the top notch, but then that's a lie. So it has a lot to do with a lot of people,
So
for
why?
different reasons. I feel like a lot of times it's how society want to define us. Maybe for a single woman who is not married, maybe society want to tell you, if you're not married by 40, meaning, hey, you're this and this and this. And a lot of women, that might be it. But then depending on how much you value marriage and whatever. So that thing is that inner voice that you know, it depends on how you want to see yourself as a person, if you're successful or not or whatever. So it really does, it's really out there. A lot of women suffer from it, you know, because then you see somebody with a low self-esteem. A very good example that happens nowadays, you see people who take to social media or whatever and want to really show off their expensive things, or want to like look down on other people and saying how, oh, they're better than these because they wear all those things. A lot of that is self-esteem. You know, it's like low self-esteem, but then they're portraying it in a different way. So those things we miss it a lot, because then another person look at it from a far distance, but look at, oh my God, that girl, you know, she can really talk, or, you know, she's not afraid to put herself out there. But then what are you putting out there actually, you know? So it affects a lot of women a lot.
That is awesome, Solange. I don't want to make you talk for so long, so I'll give you a break to get a sip of your drink, and we'll talk about this someone to continue when we come back.
Right.
Talk to you later, guys. Let's take a break. Before we went on break, we were talking about the reasons why some women don't have self-confidence, and we're still going to continue on that with Solange. So Solange, please tell us, why do you think women lack self-confidence?
Like I said earlier, a lot of the times is, you know, how you look at yourself, your successes, your failures. But then the society we live in today, social media, I don't know, it's great, but then it's doing a lot of harm. You know, you get to see a lot of people who want to look at other people's marriages and things, and people traveling, like that's all what life is all about. You know, people want to look at things on social media and then get to want to compare and see themselves as a failure. You know, for example, married women, you know, the truth is there's no marriage that's perfect, you know, but then everything we post, I included, of course. I'm never going to go there and post the time when my husband was making me cry, even though I've seen all this, you know, all those flyers where people say, oh, people never post their failures. I'm not expecting anybody to post their failures, but then we should be careful how we want to read into those things and define ourselves according to what we see,
Right.
you know, because then if I'm sitting and maybe my marriage is not that happy, and all I see is people posting this perfect picture and whatever, a lot of marriages have broken because of things like that, because then we want to compare. So the first part is we need to get to stop, you know, trying to compare, trying to compete, and trying to look at the picture. A picture doesn't tell the whole story. A picture is just a picture. I've had times where I'll fight with my husband, but then when it's time to do that picture, we're like, jeez, you know? And I put it out there, everybody's just like, oh, this happy couple. But then we do have our setbacks, we do have our fights and things like that. So we need to stop trying to define ourselves based on how social media want to define us. You know, go for what you want, go for what you like. You know, if this is what you like, that's fine. If you have a setback, hey, it's a setback. And the one thing is, everybody has issues. Marriages all have issues. So hey, if you have your little wahala at home, hey, if you see somebody who's happy, learn to be happy for other people. Don't take people's things and then get to define you. Then another part is how we grew up. You know, people from abusive relationships. Everybody's not the same. Some of us we're blessed to have come from families where maybe we got the best educations, or parents that were there and showed us love. There are a lot of people that come from broken homes, or homes where there was no love, and then there was like a lot of abuse. All of that has a lot to do with a child's self-confidence. Even today, how we bring up our kids today, how we talk to them, how we address issues with them, has a lot to do with your self-esteem. you know. So those are some of the things that we need to pay attention to, and how the self-confidence has, you know. But then at the end of the day, especially coming from, you know, people that whatever happened before, to me, I believe that, you know, sometimes we don't have control over what had passed, or what happens, or what somebody did to you. But then you have control over how you take things and move on. You understand? So meaning, if you come from maybe an abusive home before and has all these things to do with your self-esteem, try to figure out the other positive part. Try to figure out what you can do that can build you as a person, and then look at yourself from then henceforth, you know. Let go of some of those things. So some of these things, I mean, these things get to affect us in different ways, and I'm really glad you brought it up.
Yeah, me too. I am really so glad with all what Solange just said, and honestly, it's deep. It is deep, and it teaches me a lot too, you know, because sometimes you just think of some of those things that have happened in your life, and you start feeling low, you start feeling kind of down. Please don't do that. Stand up. Give yourself reasons to be happy, because remember, there is hope for the living. It happened and it's past. That's why there is a yesterday. So I really, really appreciate that, and it's really a very big lesson for all of us out there. I want to find out from you too, Solange. Do you think the way men react to women and the way they treat women, do you think it has something to do with their self-esteem?
It has everything. No matter how tough of a woman you are, it has everything. I have a lot of friends. I mean, me and my husband have been together for longer than what, 12, 13 years. I've gotten to see a lot. I've gotten to interact with single ladies, people, maybe the ones that are divorced, and then people in marriages. But I can tell you for sure, a lot of the people with low self-esteem are really women, are married women, and a lot of that comes from maybe the treatment they get in their homes from their husbands. Especially a bad relationship. A bad relationship or a bad marriage can really do a lot of harm to a woman's self-esteem, and I see it all the time. A lot, you know. So yes, how your husband or your spouse treats you definitely will affect your self-esteem.
That simply tells us to make sure we stand up on our feet and get busy making sure we build that self-confidence. We can't just lay back there and let anyone treat us just anyhow they like, guys. I want to find out too, what do you think is the difference between self-confidence and pride?
Self-confidence and pride. They are two very similar stuff, but then they're different. You know, I might be proud, and that it might be what I'm putting out there. Self-confidence is all about that inner self, you know. So no matter how I walk into a room, I want to feel all proud. But then when I go to my bed and I want to talk to myself, or I want to see the person I see in the mirror, is that part of self-confidence. And pride is whatever I might be putting out there, me even knowing that it's all fake and stuff. And then pride comes with that little bit of negativity. Not saying that pride is not a good thing. Pride is a good thing too, an extent. You know, like we say, you know, too much of a thing is bad. So pride is one of those things. But self-confidence, there is not too much of self-confidence that's bad. So I feel like you can get all the self-confidence you want to get. Self-confidence is always a good thing, you know. And I feel like that's a lot of things that we need to put in education, kids' education and everything. Trust me, it's very important.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It sure is. I see you're very confident of yourself.
Oh, anyway, you can take anything, but well, not that.
That is a very good one, guys. I love that. I love confident women, because without self-confidence, you don't have anything. Self-confidence is just the bomb. You need to try as much as you can to build it. You need to.
You need to.
So do you think it's a bad thing at all? Do you think there is any negative side to self-confidence?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I really don't think so. Because then, if there's a bad part to self-confidence, what is that? That means you're feeling like there's something really bad about you. That's not how life is supposed to be.
That's right.
Life is supposed to be all about looking at yourself. Not that you don't make mistakes, you make mistakes. But then you should be able to sit back and tell yourself that was a mistake and you're human. Forgive yourself, move on, try to be a better person each day. So there's nothing as a bad like self-confidence as a negative side to it. No, it's not. Just forget about the mistakes you did as a person. Work on being that better person, treat people good the way you want to be treated, grow each day. I don't care if it's just trying to get a promotion at work, if it's maybe going to school or doing something, but all those things, try to do more and more and more of that.
Which means you will say one of the reasons why some women are lagging behind is because they lack self-confidence.
Oh yeah, yes, I would say that like 110%, because then the truth is, a woman who really knows herself, a lot of times, if you look at them, statistics will tell you they're never lacking. Meaning, even if maybe, okay, if I take example me, how it's like getting to a point, has it been like sometimes I haven't let my guard down? I have. I'm a human being. There's certain times when maybe, you've gotten to a point where you kind of look at yourself like, okay, oh, I'm a failure. Like me, I've been wanting to, go back to school and do certain things. I've had some setbacks.
Right.
But that don't make me want to feel like a failure.
That's
that
right.
just makes me feel like I can wake up tomorrow and work double. So when it comes to self-confidence, I feel like it's just a work in progress. Just work towards whatever, and that will always come with success.
That makes sense. That really makes sense. Do you think some men make women lose self-esteem?
Oh yes,
How?
they do. Bad husbands do. Bad spouses do. Abusive spouses do. Yeah, because then a lot of times, and how you treat somebody.
Right.
So if I'm always coming home and this person treats me like trash, or maybe talks to me so bad, don't respect me or anything, it has a way of getting you to sit back and start feeling like maybe there's something wrong with you. It gets to make you maybe want to shy, maybe your inner voice, you get to lose yourself at some point, maybe either trying to please that husband or trying to please that spouse. So you get to lose yourself and lose your focus, and at some point you get to see yourself as a whole different person. That's happening in a lot of relationships nowadays, but to say we don't have control over that, we do have control, meaning at the end of the day you just have to know who you are and what you want, what you can tolerate and what you cannot tolerate.
So guys, we have heard a lot. We have learned a lot. I must say, I have learned a lot. I thought I had high self-esteem, but I just realized I still have a lot to do when it comes to working on my self-esteem. Solange, this is awesome. Honestly, I must say, I am so happy to have you today. I really need you to give me your candid advice to a friend out there, to a lady out there, on how she can build her self-esteem.
Short and simple. Build you. Focus on you. Don't let whatever, a bad spouse, a good one, don't let people's opinion, don't let other people's opinion define who you are. Define yourself. And I'm sure everybody wants to define themselves as a successful, with all these positive characteristics. Be a positive person. Forget about all the negative thoughts, forget about social media. We get to a point, when you get to a point where you get those negative thoughts, wave them aside. Be happy for other people. Treat other people well. Treat your own self well. So if you get to that point, I feel like that's all we need. So, and with that, try to build yourself each day. Right. Job-wise or whatever, if you have to go to school, if you have to do a business, it's not about whatever. Try to be a self-independent woman. Try to be financially stable. That has a lot to do, a lot more than we think or more than we want to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Try to be financially stable. Try to get yourself together. Try to do the things that make you happy. Try to know exactly what you want as a person. Be fair to your own self, meaning don't crucify yourself. Don't look at yourself as a failure just because you had a setback in life. Understand that you make mistakes as a person. Forgive yourself. Move on, and tomorrow is another day. It's always a new start. Start new and make something out of you. That's what you need to be self-confident.
Oh wow. So what is your advice to a young girl out there just growing up? What do you advise her when it comes to building her self-esteem?
I feel like a young girl out there, sometimes we want to really do have role models, you know. Sitting back, you want to think about what you want, how you want to see yourself in future. I'm sure any young girl out there, you want to be the successful person. Maybe your idol is Michelle Obama. She didn't get to that point just by what? Sleeping around, or maybe just not doing anything or going to school.
Yeah.
She went to school. She's a lawyer, even beside her husband. So build you know, look up to people, talk to other people, you know, because no matter how life is, no matter sometimes how life is challenging for a young woman. Maybe I didn't have those challenges as a young girl, but then there are a lot of challenges out there, you know. So, but then who do you see yourself 10 years from now?
Yeah.
Who do you want to be? And focus on that. Keep away from the distractions, maybe all the flashy things, because a lot of young girls today, they're having issues, you know, they have setbacks then because then you want to focus on the present, which is trying to get all these good things in life. All those things can always wait. So think about your future, who you want to be, and work towards that.
Wow.
So
Thank
that's
you
my
so
advice.
very much, Solange. I'm so grateful. I am so grateful.
You're
And I know
welcome.
someone out there who has been struggling with this particular issue has learned something. I know you just got an idea of how you can work on your self-esteem and become a better person. Hello viewers, once more I thank you so much for watching. I thank you guys for always being there and being so supportive when it comes to dealing with these issues. I just want to wish you all the best as you stay back, and I want to say ciao to you. Wait for us and you will have more to hear from us next week.